They say as humans we have been given the most ability, the power of choice. As the need for uplifting energy is required more than ever, let's choose the power of giving and sharing as it resonates greater in today's world. Hi, my name is Johnny Gicar, and welcome to The Works. Mindset, self-awareness, and personal growth, and strive towards the ultimate goal of mastering ourselves. Thought-provoking ideas and inspirational ways of thinking. With our thoughts, we make the world, we create our own reality. Let's take the responsibility to build and reinvent ourselves. Let's mindset engineer. Welcome to The Works.
Okay, good evening, folks. My name is Johnny, and welcome to another episode of The Works podcast. We have Mr. Anthony Di Caprio in the house tonight.
Yo.
That sounds a little bit gangster, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I am, no?
Yeah, sure. If you want to call yourself gangster, no problem. You're gangster of your own hood. I'll put it that way. Okay. So, everybody wants to know, who is Anthony Di Caprio? Tell me.
Anthony Di Caprio is quarantined. Like the rest
What's
of
going on? What did you do?
Who am I? God. I am someone with a fashion background, and I thrive off of that. I feel like that's pretty much my purpose.
That's your purpose.
Who I am, claim to fame. Yeah, I think that's who I am. That's me.
Good. Straight, simple, straight to the point. I love that. It's perfect.
Totally.
So basically today, or earlier today, I released this thing on my website. It's called The Meaningful Day. Okay. And basically, you know how there's a new trend going on, like, what's your routine? What do you do?
Right.
How do you plan out your
Yeah.
day? So my question to you is, how do you plan out your day? Like, what do you do? Like, you do push-ups in the morning? You
Are we
drink
speaking
orange juice?
pre-quarantine or quarantine?
No, both.
Both. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
'cause
I'm
it's all
asking
screwed
you
up
because
now.
they're not the same anymore. Pre-quarantine, I'm gonna say my routine was, let's say, pretty basic-ish. Get up. I start my day with a glass of water and apple cider vinegar.
Do you use a straw with that?
No,
You don't, so you don't protect the enamel of your teeth.
I guess that's correct.
You didn't know about that
I
one.
guess I'm fucking damaging it. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody's telling me, yeah, you got to use it, because I do that too. Everybody's saying, yeah, you got to use a straw. It protects your teeth, and I'm
But you
just
should
like,
see my shocked face right now because it's like, oh, I didn't know this.
yeah. So if not for anything, so for everybody listening, since we're in the state of where we at right now, we're doing a long distance social distancing podcast recording. So I'm at my house. Anthony is at his house. I think we're 6 feet away, right?
I think so.
Okay, good. So
Actually,
yeah, so that's
we're
why
pretty close if you think about it.
we are.
Yeah.
But so going back to apple cider vinegar, I fucking gargle with that shit. Now people are telling me you gotta protect your teeth, and here I am fucking gargling with it.
I mean, look, the reason why I do water and apple cider vinegar is because it cleanses me. I feel super. It's like, I don't know. I feel really good when I have it every morning.
So how about the mental aspect of it? What do you do? You meditate? You think? You scream? Like, what's your routine?
I used to be somebody who would wake up to the fucking last minute and would rush my life to get ready for work and get on my way to work, and it would ruin my day. I've tried to learn as I got older. Now I wake up a bit earlier, I have breakfast, I meditate 10 minutes, and then I'm like, let's go. Then I'm getting myself ready and I'm on my way to work, to the office.
Nice. So
this is pre-quarantine.
Yeah. So now what's the story? What now?
It's been a struggle. It's hard to plan your days when you have, I would say, a little less to work with.
Hmm.
One consisting, I don't have an office to go to, right? I'm
Hmm.
working from home, so my surroundings are always the same. I have periods that I have more work to do. I have periods that I have lesser work to do. So it comes and goes. It's harder to create a routine. What I'm still trying
Exactly.
to do is I'm actually going to take the time to sleep. I'm getting much more sleep with all this happening right now,
Hmm.
which is something I've lacked on for several months. So I'm just trying to sleep right now, trying to focus on trying to do different things throughout the day. Um, I mean, it's balanced nonetheless, right?
Exactly. It's
Like, what
all
do you
creating
do?
that.
What did you
But do
do pre-quarantine and now?
the only difference that I noticed is I'm actually taking more time for myself
Wow.
in every way possible. Okay. So as you know, I'm a type of person that I like to dig deep in everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love scratching at everything. So basically, like in the morning, I wake up, I'll have my green juice, I'll work out, uh, I'll go out for a walk, I'll come back, I'll stretch, I'll take my cold therapy shower, all that fancy stuff where when I'm working, it's like go, 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 go. And it's like I'm taking half-ass showers. I'm doing like two push-ups, then I leave because I'm late. And but like I'm taking more time, like I'm reading a book on emotional intelligence, which I think is super important for people to know that shit.
Who's it from?
Uh, I can't remember the title, but it's like super good book. I'm gonna
Right.
put I'm gonna make sure to put the link of this book when I post this
Yeah, I'm
episode.
curious. I want to look into it.
It's super good. It's basically how to. It's very simple. How do you manage yourself? Okay, and how do you
Right.
manage your emotions? And so basically, like in general, in this book, there's like four, or not in the book, but like in um, emotional intelligence, there's like four critical parts. So one is like self-management.
Right.
The other one is self-awareness. The other one is social awareness, and the last one is relationship management.
Man,
So
this is
it's like,
so important.
yeah, and it's like they did a study that you could take the most intelligent person with the highest IQ
Yeah.
versus a person with the highest EQ, they call it, so emotional intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't even compare. They can't even like stack up. That's
Wow.
how crazy it is. Is that the most successful people? They've done studies on this that the most successful people are not necessarily the smartest or the people with the highest IQ. It's the people with the highest emotional intelligence, meaning, they navigate through emotional situations or
Right.
problems more efficiently with like their colleagues or coworkers or whatever. So,
And it's so
anyways,
funny that you mentioned this now because, like, look at what we're going through, right, globally. And
mhm,
I'm telling you, it's like you look back and everybody's biggest problem was, I don't have time for me. I don't have time to do things for myself. Now we are given this time and we're going to face another problem is that we have the time and we don't even know how to do it.
but that's the issue is I see so many. It's weird, but I see so many people, social media, everybody's bombarding and like I there's not many people that I see doing like quality things with their
Quality,
time.
agreed, quality things.
Like, okay, people are doing like the generic thing of like, okay, I'm gonna work out more because I have time, or I'm gonna eat healthier.
But you know what
But I
this is
think,
testing? This is testing everyone's mental health. You know what's
but
happening?
that's the thing, and that's why like so many people are having issues because, like, and you know what bothers me? That people say, I'm bored. Holy fuck. Like, how are you bored? Like, there's so many freaking things you could do. And is that the problem is, I think, what do you think about this? You know, like,
Look, I'm gonna
you
tell
have,
you straight up, I'm that person who right now is saying I'm bored. But do you know why? Because when I'm not bored, my distractions are dependent on something or someone. I
nah,
am going to work, there's an office to go to. I'm going to a coffee shop, I'm going out for a drink, I'm going for dinner, I'm going to, you know what I mean?
mhm.
So now, yes, I can't believe I'm actually saying these words that I'm bored. It 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 loses the significance to everything I've been trying to do. And I hate that. But you see, that's what's happening. It's testing my mental health.
You want to know why? I think this is the thing, okay? Is that the reason why people are bored is because, like in life you have like, well, I think every person has like two states, right? What, I don't know. I'm not a freaking doctor. I don't know this stuff, right? But there's the physical aspect
Right.
and there's the mental aspect. So people are doing quality things physically, which they're working out more, they're going for walks, they're jogging,
Yeah,
uh,
this is
they're
amazing what's
eat,
happening.
they're eating healthier, they're taking the time to cook. That's all perfect. That's physically.
Yeah,
But I think people, the reason why they're bored is they're not stimulating themselves mentally.
100%.
I think that's where the boredom kicks in, right? And it could be, I think it's the opposite too, is have somebody just like is just there reading books all day for like 12 hours a day, while when they get up from that chair, they must feel like fucking shit
Yeah.
because they haven't moved all day.
Because
So it's like, creating that balance.
yeah, you just mentioned the word, which is exactly what I was about to say. I'm somebody who strives to find balance on an everyday basis, and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say I'm 80 to 90% successful at it. But now, yes, you're right. This is a major challenge we're having right now.
Yeah, I
Because, for
totally,
instance,
I totally agree.
everyone's like, "Oh my God, read 8 books, watch your movies." I'm somebody who hates reading and hates watching Netflix. I'm stimulated by my creative work. I'm stimulated by my music. Yeah, there are ways I can go into that into depth, but even at that, it won't be well balanced. So yeah, I guess the it's going to be hard to find that balance, but I feel like that's
So, so,
we were
so
given the
how
chance
you
to do it.
keep, yeah, so how are you keeping yourself stimulated on your creative side right now?
Well, look, um, I'm gonna 100% of my creativity is with my work, and I mean this is being put to the side right now. Yes, I'm working from home, but there's only so much I can do with the tools that I have. So I have
Hmm.
to find other ways of being creative. I have to touch on other aspects that I may have never touched before, um, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to make myself a list of like, okay, Ant, what haven't you done that you've always wanted to do? Okay. Um, are there new things you want to learn? Are there classes you want to take online? Like now's the time, you know?
Yeah, you have to dig, you have to scratch, man. You have to scratch and try to
My
find.
biggest thing is I
Uh,
hate what I'm hard on myself with is I hate quote unquote wasting time.
yes, absolutely.
So
That's the
let's say
most.
I want to,
That's a pet peeve of mine.
yeah, which is, it shouldn't be because it's gonna happen.
Wasting time.
I mean, there's gonna be something that happens in the day that you try something new and you're like, that was a waste of time. Yeah, but the point was that you tried and that you did it.
Exactly. It's all how you perceive it, right?
Yeah,
Because there's always something that comes out of it, right?
yeah, totally. It's the ego
I
though that's
think.
killing this all for all of us.
Talk to me about your ego.
Do you want him to come on the line? Because fuck,
If you want to call him, go ahead. We're here
he's
waiting.
here
I,
with
I'm
us.
sure.
He's here
I'm
with us.
sure. But I'm sure everybody would like to know
My
that.
ego is my ego is something that's always gotten in the way of uh, myself and things I've wanted to accomplish. And I'm going to say, actually, my version of my ego isn't what people think it is. An ego doesn't necessarily have to be stuck up, full of themselves, or really your shit don't stink. No, my ego to me is also like my demons. Like I am going to do something new. I'm going to push myself. I'm really excited about something. My ego slash my demons will come in and be like, forget it. You're never going to do well. You might as well quit. Blah, 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 blah. That's how I look at my ego. My ego isn't necessarily positive. My ego, in fact, is actually negative because I am very certain on almost everything I do.
Is it because you are tough on yourself? Like you're very demanding on yourself? Is that the reason why?
Not even. I'm not even demanding on myself. I know how much I can take on certain things, how much I can give. Um, I'm confident in myself and in my work and in my friendships and my everything. But I'll say I battle a lot of my demons. That's my struggle. That's the Anthony Di
So,
Caprio ego.
okay, so here's my thing now, is that you know that this whole thing, like the works podcast thing, the objective is to bring the shit we necessarily don't want to talk about out and
Agreed.
put it out there for people to listen, people to think about, people to start thinking about it, or questioning themselves. Basically, like thought provoking, right?
Agreed.
We're not like specialists. We're not the best in the
No,
world. We don't know everything.
no, but we're regular
This is
people going through things, right?
ex- exactly, and that's the whole point of this. So my question is with your ego, okay? What is one thing that your ego got in the way of, that today you look at that situation and you learned from it? What, and like that was able, like you were able to say, pinpoint, that was my ego right there.
I'm gonna say almost anything, and let me explain to you. Um, the reason why I don't carry a big ego is because I'm a very vulnerable person. Someone who is not vulnerable, someone who isn't willing to become vulnerable, can't put their ego aside. I'm gonna take my ego, throw it outside, and I have chosen to be vulnerable in everything. My friendships, my relationships, my work, transparent. The times that my ego has come into place is the second my ego has come into place and it's been strong enough to, stop me from going after my dream and creating my own clothing line
Hmm.
because I wasn't willing to start from the bottom. I wasn't willing to be vulnerable with it, to go through my faults, to fail. You so that's For that in particular, I would say like my clothing line. I'm gonna say it's a decade I've been trying to do this. A decade I've been trying to do this.
Okay.
Started, never finished. Started again, never finished. Started, stopped, you name it, and
So
all
so let me
because of
ask
my
so
ego.
let,
Yeah.
so let me ask you this. Just super straightforward question. When are you gonna do it?
Oh well, it's currently in the making because in the past years when I've said, Anthony, if you keep allowing your ego, your demons to get into the way, you'll never succeed at this. So as I become vulnerable in every other aspect of my life, I need to do the same with this. I need to say it's okay if I'm gonna fail at this. It's okay if I'm gonna have to, you know, start from the ground up.
Hmm.
And I think it's just about getting there mentally. Once you get there, oof, anything and everything is possible.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's not the talent that lacks. Because I mean, I've seen your work, so it's not necessarily talent wise.
Thank you.
It's just getting over that how do you call it?
Like that hurdle, that bump. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. So
you has it ever stopped? Like, what stopped you from doing things?
holy crap, where should I?
Because I've seen you go through And no, sorry, I've seen you exploit many different creative fields, and they don't really have one to do with the other.
Yeah.
Yet you've always done them. You've
I'll
always,
stop you there.
yeah,
I've done them. The only thing is I haven't followed through. Okay,
okay,
and for me, it's not necessarily uh, a blockage. So basically, okay, well, whatever, right? I went to school, engineering background. Then before I was, or while I was studying in school, I was DJing and creating music.
right,
Okay, boom, that's one thing. Then uh, got into photography. I have a love for pictures and black and white pictures, right?
yeah.
And I tried doing that as much as I can. Then, uh, I mean, like, what else? What else have I done?
Well, that,
Like, I
like,
don't
you've
even
done all of
remember.
that. To me, it's like from
So,
engineering and DJing and photography, these are like, they don't necessarily correlate. They don't necessarily go hand in hand. And to me,
no,
you have been successful at them because you've always done them, regardless of following through or not.
I've done them, but I haven't followed through. So one was the whole music thing, which is like, for me, music is like medicine, right?
Yeah,
For so many people, music is medicine. The only problem is that music versus career wise,
yeah.
like say engineering,
This is
it
exactly
was
where I was going. Keep going.
two different fields that were demanding in two different ways. So here you are being an engineer where you have to be bright and early, present, mentally focused, mentally sharp, uh, and basically on the ball
Right,
with everything that's going on. Whereas the music thing was nighttime work, no sleep, uh, staying up creating music, staying up at parties late. And that was obviously at one point or another started affecting my so-called engineering
yeah,
career. So I had to make a logical
of
decision and
course.
say, fuck it, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. One's putting bread on my table for sure.
Yeah,
The other one, I'm not sure, even though it was like a passion.
yeah.
So I got into the photography thing. And again, it was pretty much the same principle. So for me, it's not necessarily the ego part. For me, it's I overthink. The whole logical thing comes in. It's I start doing pros and cons, pros and cons, pros and cons. I get percentages out. My engineering background comes up, and I start doing like fucking charts and
Right.
spreadsheets and what's beneficial for me, what's not, and I'm doing calculus formulas to say, okay, what's the probability of me succeeding in this? Or fuck it, I drive myself nuts. So I just make a logical decision and say, oh, this is what it is.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
Has it been, if sometimes the money, the salary that will stop you or not push you to go forward? For instance, your engineering, your actual career, your actual job, this is what pays the
Hmm.
bills, this has a salary attached to it. The other is fueled by passion, just as just as good as it, just as good at it, but there's no dollar sign attached to it yet.
That is the problem.
Yeah,
That's the problem. It's because my engineering is also a freaking passion.
yeah,
That's the problem. So all of them are passions, and I find myself always going back. So yes, the engineering is there. This is what I do for a living. I manage projects, um, and but I'll always go back to the music. I'll always go back to photography. I still take pictures,
yeah, of
like,
course.
but I just don't put 40 hours or 50 hours a week on it.
Agreed. You're not going to put the
Whereas
biggest emphasis in it.
my job, I'm putting 60 hours a week on
Yeah,
it. So where does the time go? That's the only thing. So either that's the problem. My problem is I have too many passions. I want to do too many things. Um, and now with this whole
Quarantine
the
thing.
work podcasting is like trying to blend everything together and say, okay, well, now my new thing is, or it's not a new thing, but I always enjoyed digging deep into people's minds. It's super interesting,
Especially
right?
at a
How do people
time where
think?
in this decade, the one prior as well, conversations have been our biggest source of healing, our biggest
Yeah,
source of everything. And I find people are more fueled by that than anything else right now.
for sure. It's like for me, like the two things that like I always go to now are, well, two of my favorite uh podcasts slash shows, if you want to
Who do
call
you
it,
listen to?
because two people. And these guys like I London Real
Okay,
and Impact Theory.
okay.
Those are the two that like they just like you watch them and they're so interesting. They dive in so deep, and so that's kind of like, I won't lie, that's the direction I'm going in.
That's
I don't
amazing.
want to be them because they have their own style. They have their own ways. They've been around the game so many times, but it's just so captivating what they do, the questions they ask, how deep they go, and
It's
it's
fascinating at the
super
end of the
interesting.
day
So,
because
anyways,
these are conversations that we're not necessarily having on the daily and even in our circle of friends, family, whatever. So to see these types of conversations being had, it's amazing. So it's like you kind of want to recreate the same thing. Like, look at you and I. We'll speak about all kinds of different things, but it's nice to touch on different subjects. Yeah,
you have to. It to me it keeps you engaged in
yeah,
everything,
it's
right? So,
stimulation.
so here's another
Tell me.
question for you. In your domain,
Yeah,
okay, there's somebody that gets hired in your company, because the reason why I'm asking this, because there's a lot of these things that get asked, right? And this is where I'm gearing with all of
yeah.
this. Somebody gets hired to work under you.
Okay.
It's a new person in fashion, just
Uh-huh.
graduated. Um, they're coming into the work field, their first job. They come to work for you. So they're either your assistant, they're part of your
Right.
team, you're managing
Mm-hmm.
them. Okay. Three qualities that you look for in people that you think that you would need for your team.
Respect is the number one thing in life for me. It speaks volumes on everybody's part, and especially as somebody who's new on the workforce or in this industry, is have respect to everybody around you, their word, their voice, um, a good listener slash someone who's willing to learn. You need to be a sponge. You need to be a sponge, and you need to soak up everything. That was the best
Mhm.
advice that was ever given to me when I was graduating a decade ago, if not more. Is someone told me, Anthony, whatever is thrown at you, please retain it. Remember the hell out of it. So I would ask
Mhm.
for that on their part as well. Um, and honestly, tardiness, like being on time and giving in the hours is going to speak volumes and it will advance you.
Okay, so let me ask you about the last one, because the first two I totally agree with
Right.
you. The last one,
Tell me.
okay, because this is a whole thing. Okay, giving in the hours. Everybody fucking complains about overtime
Ah,
or overworked. Okay, what do you think about that? Like, I'll give you my opinion after on overworked, overtime, all that fancy, fun stuff that everybody loves.
yeah. You want to know what? Why people are struggling with it?
Why is it such a huge topic of discussion in the workforce today?
'Cause people,
Everybody talks about being overworked. Everybody talks about long hours. Everybody talks about overtime. Everybody talk like,
look,
what's the deal?
I think everybody has their um, own personal situation in their industries. That's a given. Each company works a different way. Each You're dealing with companies who work a certain way, and now you're dealing with characters and personalities. You know, some people are good with a 9 to 5, and that's actually really good if they're good with that. Others aren't. Others are. Doesn't mean they are better. Let's get this clear. Doesn't mean the person who wants to do more is better. You know, I just find in this day and age there is a lot of complaining about all this, and I say this with everything. The second you start complaining about something too much, a friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a colleague, yo, you need to you need to change your perspective. You need to attack it differently. Everyone's complaining about being overworked. Are you really? It could be, you know, but if you're complaining about something, you have to change the narrative. Change the damn narrative. I got to the peak of a certain title, a certain position in the design world when I was designing. I got to the highest of one of the highest of positions, and I was not motivated. I was didn't take it seriously. I was doing my 9 to 5. That for me, the second I start doing a 9 to 5, you've lost me. The second this is my character, the second I start giving in more earlier, I go into work earlier, I'm more on the go, I'm finishing later. That's because I'm passionate about it. I'm not complaining about it then. I'm willing to do the work. That's
Was
what it comes down to for me.
was it was it because your 9 to 5 was boring? It wasn't challenging enough for you?
Correct. Comes down to stimulation.
Hmm. So here's my
So just
my
going back to
opinion
that
on.
on what we're facing right now, the topic everyone's talking about being overworked and people not agreeing with overtime and this and that. If you're extremely fueled and if you're extremely fueled and passionate about it, you're not even looking at the time. It's not the case for everybody, you know, which is
Sure, I
unfortunate.
agree. I somewhat agree with that, but yeah, there's two things, right? There's work-life balance,
Yeah,
which is super important, and I think that's what's uh, hurting a lot of
yeah.
people. And I think sometimes the work-life balance, okay, it's not your job necessarily screwing that up.
Oh, certainly not.
I think it's yourself screwing it up
It's yourself. It's the people you work
because
with. There's a lot involved in that.
because because I had a mentor a long time ago, right? Okay, this guy was engineer just like me. He was close to retirement. He was about 60, mid 60s or something. This guy was like the walking book of knowledge of construction and management. This guy knew
Right.
everything, and on top of it, he was an ex army guy. Got brought up very strict, very religious background. Super interesting guy.
Okay.
And this guy told me on the first day, of my job with him, and I was working directly under him.
What did
So
he tell you?
here's a young engineer coming in, working under an almost retired engineer with, like, army background, very strict, blah blah blah, all
Right.
that. And the first thing he told me was, Johnny, I don't care when you come in. I don't care how many hours you work. He goes, but
Get the work done.
two things. Two things. One, get your shit
Yeah.
done, which means, on time, be professional, just get it done. And the other thing he told me is, if you are incapable of fulfilling your duties as a worker or an employee here, in an 8-hour day,
Yeah.
you need to look at yourself in the mirror because you're not working efficiently enough.
Insane,
Okay.
but wow, that's so powerful.
So, and I looked at him and I was like, okay. Like, I'm like, this is pretty chill, right? Okay, this is freaking chill.
What he's basically
But
telling you is that he's not going to micromanage you. He's basically telling you, I
mhm,
expect the work done. But that to me speaks
exactly.
volumes that people aren't given that.
Yeah. And this this guy, like, I didn't know. He was managing projects all over the world, Canada, USA, the Caribbean, in Europe. This guy was like everywhere. And this guy had so much work on his table, which I only came to find out like because we got really close, right? And working side by
Right.
side, that I was like, how the hell does this guy do this? And this guy was coming in, was working his days. He did not that he didn't waste any time. He was so efficient on where he put his energy and how he put his energy into something. It's and now, like, I've after like 4 years of being under this guy, now when I go out and work and I see people working, and I'm like, okay, do you understand if you don't do it right the first time, you'll be doing it two, three, four
Yeah.
times? And if you do it two, three, four times, well, you just added 2 hours to your
Oh my
workday.
God, yes. But that comes from managing yourself. That comes from having the respect from your manager to manage you a certain way like that. Like
Yeah.
if you're
And now
always
that's
gonna
how,
be if he was always gonna be on your case, you would have gotten nothing done.
yeah, exactly.
That you that
Exactly.
you've been respected and told that you can attack this however you want as long as it's done changes everything.
Yep, for sure. It gives you the responsibility. Like, if you're doing well, it's on you. And if you're fucking up, well, guess what? It's on you too.
100%.
So you figure it out, right?
100%.
So, interesting conversations. I didn't see it going that way, but it did.
Same, same. You've made my quarantine all that better.
So let me ask you another thing that I'm always asking is what what topics do you think people are interested in? You know, like what do you think? Like, obviously, health and fitness. Everybody wants to look good. Everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to eat. What else? Like,
I don't even think it's
what
a
else
certain
interests
topic.
you?
I don't think it's a certain topic. I think, even for myself, I don't think it's a certain topic that interests me. I want to hear, the majority of people want to hear someone else speak and say, oh, but me too. Oh, me too, I'm like that. Oh, me too, I used to do this. Regardless of the actual topic, health, fitness, relationship, you name it, things need to feel relatable.
Exactly. You need to
Yeah,
relate,
need
right?
to relate.
Okay, good.
I was watching, have you watched 100 Humans on Netflix?
No, but you told me about it. You told me about. I watched 1.5 episode. I fell asleep, and then I never went back to
Johnny, I
it.
urge you and everybody to watch this. Watch 100
All I
Humans.
remember, they had like groups of people, 100 doing sit-ups or squats,
The
and
purpose of the show is to have 100 humans ranging from your 20s to your late 60s of different ages, ethnicities, sexual orientations, you name it, and to basically study them, study how the human works. And I'm sorry, I was talking about this. I have to mention this. This is crazy to me. There is a woman coming in. She's a speaker. So she's a woman walking into a room. There's audience number one. Audience number one is mixed, correct? She is a fitness
oh,
instructor. It's fake. She's an actress. She's a fitness instructor
okay,
and she is British. So she's going to speak for 10 minutes. to this audience, to this group of people, about fitness for 10 minutes. And at the end of it, the host is going to ask the audience, what did you think? Like, give us your thoughts. That's group
Mm-hmm.
one. With another group, they're going to take the exact same woman, same title, same speech. She's now going to have a American accent. So she's going to be delivering the same thing, but to a different group of people, and same thing would happen. And then the third one, third audience, and the same person delivering the same speech, same topic in a different tone, is, if I'm not mistaken, is somebody from the States, but with like a Louisiana accent from North Carolina.
Okay, a down south accent.
Correct.
Okay.
It is astonishing to me how the person is the same person, different accent, delivering the same speech, same storyline, has a different impact and a different vision from these people. The British woman, the British accent, got the best reviews. That she was powerful and uplifting, and they felt motivated. The American, the regular American accent, was so-so, it was okay. And the last one, they didn't believe her. They didn't believe her. She thought that she was stuck up and her delivery wasn't the best and she was boring. It's incredible how humans study each other.
So it's all about it's all about perception.
Yeah, perception and how we react to human society. It's nuts. It's nuts. I really urge you to watch this. It's somewhat off topic to what we were saying, but
no, but it's interesting. It's an interesting.
It really, really is.
I'm trying to think about what might cause that. It's all about, I guess, perception or being how you present yourself, how you about communication, right? Communication is, to me, is one of the biggest freaking problems in the world, right? Nobody knows how to communicate, but it's not only communicate, because communicate also, nobody knows how to listen. That's the problem.
Knows how to. People don't know how to deliver. You have to be conscious of what you're saying, how you're saying it, to who you're saying it to. I come from a marketing background, so like I'm always going to be conscious too. And what are you saying? Choose your words, because you have to be very conscious of who you're delivering it to, and then the message will get across properly. But imagine this exercise was done on accents. How the
It's crazy, but it's also, I'm very big on digging in and leadership, right? Leadership is super important, and there's like a quote that basically says, I can't remember it word for word, but I actually posted it on my Instagram the other day. So if ever you're interested, you guys know Gicar Works Instagram, go see it. Anthony, by the way, what's yours?
Sir. My Instagram.
Tell people where to go fucking find you, man.
So basic. It's Anthony Di Caprio. You guys can find me on Instagram.
So you see how my mind just goes like in like an octopus. It just goes everywhere.
But that's you and I.
Anyway,
we talk about anything and everything all the time.
So leadership, to me, okay, is it's super important. It's all the way like you communicate. It's as simple as that. And there's one way or one person, the way they see it is that leadership is not domination, but it's the art of persuading people to work towards a common goal.
Genius.
Okay, so basically leadership is not you're gonna go in and every person you encounter, it's like, remember you were saying before how you deliver. The problem is, or not, it's not a problem, but what people have to pay attention to is also it's who you're delivering to.
Of course.
Because the way you're speaking to me is not necessarily the way you're gonna speak to the president of your company.
Or going back to what happened in that exercise. Right. What I'm gonna tell you, and if I tell it to somebody else, my delivery, it could be the exact same words, the exact same message, but my delivery has to change.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
For sure, because like, is it because the British accent is a bit more cleaner and more crisp and more professional that the persuasion doesn't need to be that much
Yeah.
more than the typical English
Yeah,
accent. I don't
I guess to me it's fascinating. It's extremely
know.
fascinating. And
Interesting.
leadership goes back to what's happening is like, if you are managed with great leadership, without micromanaging, with in giving trust into your employer is then going to go above and beyond for you. But if you don't install those rules and that uh, ideology, then no, the person will feel overworked. The person will feel like they need to do their 9 to 5, and that's sufficient. Goes back to that too. That
Mm,
right
I
before
agree.
going being at Red Sack, I was working for a company I was designing, and my manager was very uh, dictatorial. Like he had to dictate everything. It was too
Hmm.
aggressive. Even with all my experience, it doesn't persuade me to want to do better, to be better. No, it's an attack. It's a form of aggression. Change the tone,
Of
change the
course.
tone, change the message, change the delivery of the message. Oh, amazing things could have happened. But we have to be conscious of this.
Not that's the thing, and there's a good guy that again was on impact theory, and obviously he's a super good, super huge author. I read a few of his books. It's called John Maxwell. Basically, this guy is like known as like the kingpin of
Right.
leadership, and he differentiates a leader versus a manager, right? Super, it's 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 super simple. Like the way he explains it, it's super simple to see the difference between a manager is gonna um, what's the word I'm looking for? Is gonna
What motivate?
holy crap. No, no, no. Wait a minute. I'm having a freaking blank right here. What the hell's going on? A manager is gonna distribute workload to people,
Okay.
right? So he's gonna have his team and he's gonna say, okay, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. Whereas a leader will actually get
Yes,
involved
100%.
in, okay, we'll get involved and look at his, okay, this is what we have to do. How the hell are we gonna do it? What do you think? He's getting involved. He's not just throwing the ball there and say, go ahead, let me know how it goes,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe,
That's the difference.
and that's
So you're a leader or a
me,
manager? Yeah,
leader, 100%. I've never, ever, first of all, no one is successful on their own. It takes a team to be successful in every aspect. Your job, your relationship, everything. You cannot be successful. You
absolutely.
cannot. You cannot be successful without the uh, the work and the impact from others. So yeah, I'm a leader because I'm willing to get my hands dirty. I'm willing to do A to Z, anything and everything, because at the end of the day, it has to get done. So why not do it together as opposed to, oh, I'll stick to what I do and you'll do the rest. No, you're not going anywhere like that.
Hmm. So let me ask you this. What is success to you?
What is success? Success to me, success can be anything. Success can be anything as long as it's derived by happiness. It's derived by uh, respect and self love. Like, I'm successful in my work if I am happy, if I show up, if I give it my all. If I leave at the end of the day and be like, that was a heck of a day, tomorrow's gonna be even crazier. But that to me, each day can be successful like that. That's success. Success is, it's actually so simple. Success is not by reaching the, $100,000 salary. Success is not by going out 6 times a week. No, it's not. Success is really like, I don't know. It's always been simple like that in my mind. I think
Interesting.
we're we're making things complicated for nothing.
the new age, the new kids on the block are making it complicated.
But even new kids on the block, but even the old kids on the block, like, and because of social media is now defining what's successful. Are you kidding me? I
Oh boy!
now
So
a
now so
30.
now you opened up the floodgates now, right?
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
truth though.
Social media, my other pet peeve. Go ahead.
If it wasn't for work and trying to create um, new relationships with uh, friends in the industry, I would not have this. No way. I'm already
But
someone who's
see,
not
this is the thing.
influenced by people because I got my own story. I do my own thing. I look my own way. I'm good with that. But you mean to tell me now a 32-year-old man has to wake up and look at other people and be like, I wish I looked like that, or I wish I did that, or that's fun. That person's living their life. Are you kidding me?
But see, social media is to me is a super good tool.
It can be.
It's super, but you have to use it properly. You know what I mean? Like you said, like connecting with people in your industry. It's probably the single best way
It's
to
so
do it, right?
necessary,
It's
of
the most
course.
right. Problem is that so many people, again, it comes back to what? Comes back to what we are talking about before, wasting time.
Yeah.
People waste too much time on that. They're not effective
Oh, I
anymore.
even do. I waste so
They're
much
they're
time on it.
they're and I'm convinced that social media creates like attention span
Of course.
problems because it's like the way I see it is like you're scrolling and you see a happy post. Then you scroll, oh, a sad post. Oh, you scroll, oh my God, this is messed up
Yeah.
post. Oh my God, this is a funny post. Oh my God, back to sad. And it's like
And then
you're
and then they tell
scrolling
us we
and
can't
like
control our emotions. But I mean, hello.
ex, you're sending your emotions everywhere within a span of like 15 freaking seconds. And like, okay, so at the end of the day, then you turn off your phone and it's like, okay, you haven't even absorbed the emotions you felt yet or paid attention to it, and you're already on to the next and already on to the next.
And it's like, what are we constantly looking for? We're constantly looking to see what others are doing. We're constantly looking to see what we can do different or better. We're constantly looking for validation. Did I get the likes? Do I like the comments? Oh my God, this person didn't do that. Like, it's it can be extremely, extremely negative.
I use social media to learn. I don't know, fuck. Am I the only
No,
retard
you're
that's doing
extremely
this? Like, I
smart for doing that.
learn.
Like, extremely smart.
It's like, for me, it's like, who or which post can I find that will bring me to someone that's doing something that's interesting, that's gonna make me learn something or teach me something or discover something. It's like, who's this person? I don't even care who they are, what their name is. It's like this guy or this girl is doing something different and I'm learning from them. Like, okay, I saw the other day, right? I'm just scrolling. There's this dude that's called, holy crap, Edo
Okay.
something. Let, let me wait. I need to find
Find
this
them.
guy because I wanna mention his name is Edo. Okay, so this guy's Instagram is Edo Portal. Okay, and he's a movement education and practice dude, and he's trained like so many people. And this guy, his way of like the way he moves his body it's like I noted I never heard of this guy. This guy's like at over 500,000 followers.
Wow.
I don't even know where he's from, but just this guy's like he's training like guys like Conor McGregor and like fighters, and it's all about movement and moving the body, and
That's incredible.
it's like something totally different than the regular, oh, let's do squats to make my booty
I
big,
know. Ugh.
right? It's completely different than that. And it's just freaking genius. And it made me see a completely other side of what this guy's doing for like health, fitness, and mind and body control, and it's like completely
Yeah, but
like the other
he's using
spectrum.
it for the right reasons. He's using it to uplift and to create a good buzz in the world. Like that's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm telling
yeah.
you,
Super interesting.
remove remove the number of likes on Instagram. Let's use Instagram. Remove the number of likes and remove the number of people that are following. It will change everything. It will change how you post. It will even change you how you even may look at a photo.
Well, yeah, for sure. Because now probably people post to get likes and to get
Of course.
followers. Yeah, maybe I should look into that. Maybe that's why I don't have many followers or
No,
likes.
keep it
Because I don't give
keep
a
it that way.
shit.
Keep it that way. But you know, even
Don't
with the
give a
comment section,
crap.
remove the comments, everything changes. We're living in a society where we're trying to stop uh, cyberbullying and self-confidence issues. Well, remove those things, and you're off to a fantastic start. Remove the comment section.
Yeah,
Remove the comment
okay.
section on YouTube. Remove the comment section on Instagram. Like, it can change wonders.
So you're gonna email them tomorrow and ask if it's possible for them to do it? Do you think they're gonna
I'll do
listen
it.
to
I'll
us
do it
or
for
no
us.
way?
You know I will.
You'll do it for
Yeah.
society, for the world.
I'll be like, delete this immediately. Thanks.
Amazing.
Fine.
So, last
Tell me.
question, but not least. Okay. Um, Actually, I don't know. I have a few, but I'm gonna ask you this one, right? Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
In 10 years. In 10 years, I'd like to say I see myself um, continuously working for Ratsac, which is where I'm at, and to really have been in the middle of my clothing brand. I have so much
Okay.
I have so much creativity that I want to show and share and make people relate with that
So,
that's the ultimate goal for me.
so that's your purpose. You want to share and
Yeah.
showcase your
Yeah, because
creativity.
not everything has to be done in a materialistic way. Creativity and fashion can still be done to
Hmm.
motivate, to uplift, to gather people together. Like, I feel like that's the purpose. And I
Awesome.
feel like with what we're
That's
going on in the world right now, a lot will change. A lot will change. We have to be conscious,
I
especially
agree.
in my field. Yo, fashion needed this long ago, long ago. We needed to realize that we were overproducing, overpolluting. Like what's happening now is a, a
There's a whole
yo,
shift, right? There's a whole shift going
it's a
on.
cry for cleanliness. Cleanliness has to do with pollution. Pollution has to do with how much water we're wasting on clothing. You know, whether we like it or not, if we want this planet to exist, you know, we have to take care of it, which means we have to be nice to it, we have to be kind to it, we can't pollute it. We have to go plant-based at some point. You know, we grew up, you and myself were ethnic, and we grew up in a very Italian household our whole life, but we don't eat the same way our grandparents ate. We don't grow things the same way.
No, that's
We
for
don't
sure.
grow things the same way. We
That's for
don't
sure.
take
We
care
don't
of things the same way.
grow things, period.
Oh, period.
We don't grow things, period. We
Yeah.
just buy.
And I think we have a long way to go, but I think we could do it. I just think we have to constantly be in conversation and constantly be talking about these things.
Nice. I
Where do you
like
see
that.
yourself 10 years?
Where do I
Yeah.
see myself? Holy crap. I don't even know where I see myself in 10 minutes from
What's
now.
that?
Because because my brain is everywhere. Like I want to do everything. Like I don't know.
Same.
In 10 minutes from now, I'll probably be reading a book. 10 minutes later, I'll probably be listening to music or creating
100%.
music, and maybe I'll be eating. But in no, in 10 years from now, probably continuing what I'm doing in my field, but most importantly, trying to help the new wave of people coming into, let's say, my industry, which is construction engineering management. And it's just because that it's what I see. It's like it's so difficult being some sort of project manager in the construction industry if you don't know how to manage
Right.
yourself. Okay. And I see so many people in the industry trying to manage like large groups of people, and they don't even have their themselves in control. And look, you could still do a fantastic job. I'm not gonna like remove credit from anybody because I've worked with so many genius
Right, of
people.
course.
But I think, especially like you said, like with things changing and a lot of things going on at the same timeline, like the people that are now going to be like in charge of things, man, they have to be connected on all
Right.
aspects. And more importantly, they have to be connected with themselves, spiritually, mentally, all that before actually going out and managing people. Because at the end of the day, you're just going to be end up being uh, the typical manager that
Right.
delegates work.
This is exciting
And
though,
I
right?
think
Because it
that's
looks like there's so much work to do, but it's good work to do.
it's continuous, man, continuous, like continuous. Uh, like I said, like with the mentor I had, like we used to have uh, weekly meetings, and it used to be called continuous improvement,
Okay.
and it was like about everything. How do you do your job? How the project that we're working on is going, and it's like continuous improvement. Like how could you improve this? How could you improve that? How could you improve your communication? What was the scenario? What could you have done differently? How did you communicate this, or how did you
It's
handle
amazing because we
this,
don't
or
talk about that right away,
you know,
and it needs to be needs to be
it's
spoken about.
but on a weekly basis, one on one, and I think that's what people need to start
Right.
doing, like especially people higher ups and people coming in. It's like, look, you have to realize you have to improve on yourself and your work, and you have to be held accountable for it. Period.
100%.
That's it. That's all.
100%.
That's the way I see it.
Amazing. So I won't check up on you
Anyways,
in 10
it's
years. I'll check
very
up on
with
you
a
in 10
very
minutes.
yeah. I'll probably be eating
Same.
something. I think I'm getting kind of hungry, but
Summer 20 body is canceled. That's all I can say.
great. So once again, please let people know where to find
You can
you.
find me at it's Anthony Di Caprio on Instagram.
Perfect. And then once you follow Anthony, you could come and see me. You don't need to follow me because nobody follows me. It's all good. But keep it that way. But just come and check it out because I'm gonna be posting some cool shit.
Amazing.
Gicar
Yeah.
works. Gicar works. So thank you very much for this lovely conversation. We're gonna have more and more
Thank you,
coming
kind
soon.
sir.
Um, and that's it. We'll see you
Have a good
later.
night.